My next guest is going to be making his UFC debut this Saturday against Giga Chikadze at UFC Fight Night. It is Jamey Simmons joining me here on the program for the very first time. Jamey, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going well, man. Going well.
I bet. Well, congratulations getting the call up to fight for the UFC. When did you find out you were going to be getting this opportunity?
I got the call last Friday.
Wow. Okay. So less than like a week's notice, I guess, well, in terms of fight time and everything. So, big accomplishment and, obviously great to get to this stage. Was this something you were expecting or did this kind of come out of the blue?
No, I've kind of been expecting it for a little bit now. Not like necessarily a 4-fight contract, but I felt like I was right on the crisp of the UFC. So either, a contract or the Contender Series. I
don't know if you're aware, you're the biggest betting underdog on this card. Did you happen to know that?
I figured so. I'm fighting a tough, rangy kickboxer, and I'm making my debut, and he's already 4-0 in the UFC, so I figured something along those lines.
Yeah. Does that pump you up a little bit more, trying to prove the doubters wrong, or does it not matter? I'm sure you have a lot of friends that are betting on you.
Yeah, no, it pumps me up a little bit. I enjoy playing the underdog, so I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm excited for it.
Is that something you're used to? I'm sure, in the regional scene, you've gone into enemy territory and things like that. Is that a situation you've been in before? You've been counted out this much?
Yeah, actually 2 weeks ago, I went to Iowa and I was facing a hometown kid where I was like, severely the underdog and kind of got booed. I was fighting in his backyard, so it was pretty tough, but I was able to go in there and secure that victory as well. So.
And how much do you play into that, though? The fact that you just fought recently and, you got another fight here. Like, do you believe in momentum that's going to, help you as opposed to Giga, who, hasn't fought in a few months?
Yeah, I believe, what I said, because of that last fight, I've been training, hard for the past, basically every day for the past, year or 2 years. But, we definitely intensify our training when it comes to fight camp. So I just got out of camp. And then I, fought and then got another fight right away. So I feel like I'm, in shape and I'm definitely ready for this.
How do you feel like you match up against your opponent? A lot of hype behind him, but, he does have some losses on his record.
Yeah, I know he's I know he's a little rangy kickboxer. I'm mostly, not mostly, but I definitely have a strong wrestling background. So I think it could, come down to your typical wrestling striker matchup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know this doesn't play a huge role in it, but, how much do you put emphasis on pressure, right? Like, he's this big betting favorite. He's got a lot of hype. You just, like I said, got this a week ago. A lot of people counting you out. Like, do you feel like in some ways that will help you in the fight? Because there's not as much to lose here. Whereas with him, if he loses this fight, it's going to look bad on where he's sort of headed in the UFC's featherweight division.
Yeah, so, as for pressure, like I said, I am definitely the underdog, and I took this fight on short notice, so I definitely think he has more pressure going into this fight than I do, but at the same time, the opportunity presented itself, and, we've been looking forward to it, and we're ready for it, so I'm going in there looking to make a statement.
Absolutely. And I think too, with the 4-fight contract, it's not like they're just going to, give you this fight and then that's it if things don't go well. I'm sure you got to feel good that, the UFC has invested in you in this opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely an honor.
You train at a great camp, Pure Vita MMA, a lot of really talented fighters over there, including your head coach, Zach Otto. How much have you been leaning on Zach this week? Just because he's a vet in the UFC, I'm sure he can give you, we hear about UFC jitters. I'm sure he's a guy that can kind of put that at ease for you, just having fought himself.
Yeah, no, Zach's been amazing. He's been out. He flew down here with me on Monday. He's been showing me the ropes, kind of guiding me through everything. Really made this experience go way smoother than, one would anticipate.
Who have been some of your main training partners for this sort of mini camp heading into this fight?
Well, two of my main training partners are signed to the UFC, Montel Jackson, who's similar in size and stature as my opponent, where he's 5'10", 5'11", with a 75-inch reach, And then another one of my main training partners is O'Day Osborne, who's also been great. He's got a good reach on him. He's quick, so I definitely feel like I've seen this style of fighter before.
And I don't know if you train with them because they're bigger guys, but I know you got Alton Cunningham, you got Tim Hiley training there as well. Like, do you train with some of the bigger guys as well, or is it mainly just the lighter weight classes?
We do. We mix it up. I'd say mostly I train with, guys my size, but I've worked with both Alton and Tim in the past.
That's great. I know Tim's a big gamer. Are you into video games at all?
Oh man, I definitely believe I'm pound for pound the best 2K player in MMA.
Wow, they're already coming out guns a-blazing. That's a serious accusation. No, that's great, man. Who's your team in 2K?
I rep Milwaukee all day. That's my go-to team, the Bucks.
Okay. We'll talk a little basketball later for sure, because I got some questions about that. Obvious question, the weight cut. I don't know how much you cut to get to 145, but everything going according to plan?
Yeah, my weight cut's going pretty smooth. Like I said, I had that fight 2 weeks ago, so I kind of stayed in shape and kept my weight down, hoping to get an opportunity, and it came right around the corner. So my weight is definitely looking good.
Excellent. And you mentioned Zach Otto. Who else is going to be in your corner on Saturday?
Zach Otto, Solo Costo, and Jake Clip.
Oh, excellent. Jake Clip, one of the best in the business. How do you see the fight playing out? I mean, obviously you feel like you're going to get your hand raised, but how do you envision the fight unfolding?
I think he's going to come out, relaxed, calm, fairly confident. Honestly, I see the fight going, a little bit on our feet, but eventually working ourselves to the cage or to the ground, and that's where I'm really going to be able to shine and, show out and show my skill.
Excellent. And just to give kind of people an idea, like, are you a full-time fighter or do you have like a job on the side? Like, because obviously I know the big bucks don't come until you get to the big show.
Yeah, no, I did have a job on the side. I got laid off during COVID, so I was able to use this COVID to train full-time. Even then, even when I was working full-time, I was also still training full-time. But after, we got hit the COVID and I got laid off, I was able to train even more.
Yeah, so timing kind of worked out, right? Like you're going all in on MMA. Like you said, you were training full time before, but you don't have those other distractions of, having to leave work early or anything like that to get to a training session. And then here you are in the UFC. So kind of worked out well, would you say?
It did work out perfect, man.
Yeah. That's good to hear. Yeah, 2020 has been a weird year, but glad to see that kind of worked out for you as well. And going back even further, what initially got you into martial arts? How did this journey begin for you?
Well, I've honestly been a lifelong wrestler my entire life, and after wrestling in college, I still wanted to compete and be a professional athlete, and with my experience in wrestling, I figured MMA would be my best fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And that's a great base to start with. Did you find the transition from wrestling to MMA was pretty good for you?
I felt it was pretty smooth. I feel like my wrestling style really complements, MMA wrestling more, so I think it was definitely a pretty smooth transition.
Fantastic. And then the other thing, obviously, too, is you're rep by one of the best management companies in the game, Ridium Sports. I know they rep a few of your teammates, including Zach and Montel Jackson and Odie as well, I believe. How much do you sort of credit them to helping you get this opportunity? Because they've been putting guys in the UFC all year, basically. It's been really interesting to see.
I give them all the credit in the world. I signed with them like 2 months ago, and fast forward 2 months, and here I am signed to the UFC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I signed with them, they opened up the door, and, they got your boy in.
Yeah, and I imagine that was sort of the connection from Zach and some of the other guys at the gym. Is how you knew about getting representation?
Yeah, absolutely. Like they said, they work with several other of our fighters on the team, so I think once my record got close to par, they were like, all right, let's get you signed with Iridium, and then Iridium, took over and took it from there.
Awesome. I don't know if you can just tilt your phone up a little bit, just because we're kind of missing you on the screen there. Yeah, no worries. It happens. And then what else was I going to ask you? Oh, yeah. So we talked about 2K. Do you get enough time, like, leading up to a fight like this? Like, are you getting to play any during fight week, or is the video games off limits until after the fight?
Oh, I definitely brought my PlayStation. I've tapped into one game of 2K since I've been here since Monday. But a funny story is 2 weeks ago in my fight, I did my entire cut in like this portable sauna suit where my head hangs out, and there's two little sections that my hand can slide out. So I was cutting weight while playing 2K. So.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, that's smart, right? Because then, you're miserable when you're cutting weight, but at least you get something to do to kind of keep your mind off it, right?
Exactly.
There you go. Good combo. Fighters take note. That's a very good strategy there. Do you watch the NBA as well, or did you just play the 2K game?
I definitely follow basketball.
So Giannis, is he going to stay? What's happening with him? We're hearing some rumors.
Man, I definitely hope he stays.
Yeah, I think he should too. Like, I hate that. You know what? Maybe I'm a little bit old school here, but I don't like all these superstars leaving and going to these bigger teams, because, like, Milwaukee, they've established a great team around him, and they should stick with that. That's just my opinion. But
yeah, I agree, man. I think he is I think he's a homegrown kid, right? We drafted him. We got his brother. His other brother got into the league through him. Not that he's loyal to us, but I think you know what I mean? I think he's a genuine dude, and he feels like obligations to probably stay a little bit. You know, I think he's going to stay with us. I hope so.
Well, no, I hope so too. It'd be great. So in Canada, I live in Vancouver. We lost the Grizzlies years ago. So sort of the closest team is Toronto, right? And Kawhi leaving and going to the Clippers. It's like, man, they could have, if he would have just stayed for another year, who knows? They could have got back to who knows? It's just one of the, now they're going to have to blow up the team, right? It's just one of those unfortunate things. But I'll say this, I'll take the NBA championship in getting Kawhi. You can't put a price on that, right? So.
No, 100%. That was a phenomenal performance from Kawhi in those playoffs.
Yeah, no, it certainly was. And we're expecting a phenomenal performance here Saturday. It is UFC Fight Night, UFC Vegas 13. Jamey, thanks so much for the time, man, especially during fight week. If you got anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, the floor is yours.
I want to start off by thanking my coaches, Jake Clip, Solo, Acosta, and Zach Otto for helping me and guiding me my entire career. I want to thank my teammates, for pushing me and working with me and helping me get to this point I am as well. I want to thank Jason House and the whole team over there at Ridium for making this opportunity possible. I want to thank Rev Gear for all the support that they've been giving me this past couple months. And last, I want to just thank my friends and family, from being there with me from day one. We made it.